When I first started my daycare, I was completely lost on what toys to invest in and spend more money in and what toys would just be taking up space. So today I'm going to share my 3 favorite must-have daycare toys. Hey guys, Sarah here from Work Life Glue, where we glue work and life together one piece at a time, and one big piece of our life is daycare. So every Friday I do a daycare day video where I talk about anything daycare related, and a lot of you guys have asked about my favorite toys and things like that for daycare, so I thought I would just sit down and talk about my 3 favorite daycare toys. When thinking about what the kids play with the most, what they get the most enjoyment out of, what they learn the most from, that can be used in a lot of ways, these are the 3 toys that I thought of. So the very first toy is magnetic tiles. I have Magnetiles on here. I don't actually use that brand, but just these like magnetic tiles that stick together, come in all different colors. You can build them in all kinds of ways. You can stack them, you can break them apart and throw them in. I have had these Playmags brand. I got them on Amazon. They're like half the price of the Magnetiles brand, and I haven't found any difference between them. I've had these for about a year and a half. The kids step on them. They do all kinds of things. They have never, not one of them has broken. I love them. Why do I love them? Oh my goodness. First of all, I could probably just have these in my daycare and my kids would not miss their other toys. I'm not even kidding. They play with these all the time. If I try to rotate them out, they're constantly asking for them. Seriously, they're amazing. Why do I love them? They are open-ended. There's no one way to play with these. Girls can play with them, boys can play with them. There's not anything about them that tells kids how to play with them. And they're learning so much. They learn about physics, about magnets. Kids like to go around and see what these will stick to, which is awesome. They learn about colors. They've learned that these 2 triangles can make a square if they run out of squares, and that 2 rectangles can make a square. And they can play with them in so many ways. These, in my daycare, these rectangular ones, for over a year have become phones, and the kids fight over them to the point where I take them away a lot. But they love to pretend they're phones. Kids can play with them in so many different ways. Girls especially like to build houses for their little people. They like to bake cakes out of them and pies. They'll take the triangles and make like a pie circular shape and give them to you to pretend to eat. The boys love to make them into snow blowers and drums, and oh my goodness, I can't even tell you. They like to make paths out of them. The possibilities are seriously endless. They play with them in so many different ways. They pretend they're food, they pretend they're people, they pretend they're computers, remotes, phones. I mean, it's just amazing. They're so open-ended. That's what I love about them. And they just never get sick of them. So I'd highly, highly, highly recommend Magnetiles. And I like them because even 1-year-olds can build with them. There's no choking hazard. And they're not like hard to figure out. Like, they just stick together by putting them together. Whereas like with waffle blocks and even Duplo blocks, they can be a little harder for the little ones. So these are great for like 1 through 5-year-olds, I mean, and up. But they're really, and they're kind of just addictive the way that they stick. It's really fun. Okay. My second favorite toy for daycare is a play kitchen and play food. I think this is timeless. Kids all ages love a play kitchen and play food. Now, I'm really glad I invested in a more high quality kitchen. It is plastic, but the kids are pretty tough on it and it still works. It looks more lifelike. Not like crazy colors and stuff, and there's stuff that opens and drawers and ovens and stuff like that, and they just love it. I love this because they can still play with it in a lot of ways. They can pretend they're a restaurant, they can play house. Sometimes they pretend it is like a dollhouse and the drawers are different rooms and stuff like that. And I really like how it fosters social interaction, like cooking for someone, asking what do you want, or cooking together, can you pass the spatula, or whatever. Really helps foster that socialization piece, and it's just plain fun. And now for play food, I just want to say I now use felt play food. I got mostly from Target and IKEA. And I like this because I can so easily just pop it in the laundry and it cleans it. And I don't have to spend time like sanitizing it. And if they do end up putting it in their mouth, there's no chemicals or anything on it. And and they seem less likely to put it in their mouth because it is fabric. I feel like that's less fun to put in your mouth than like something hard. So ever since I've switched, I rarely see kids putting it in their mouth, which is awesome too, because that's, you know, if it's play food, especially the little ones want to put it in their mouth because it looks like food. So I think that one's a pretty obvious one, a play kitchen and play food. And then lastly, my kids love puzzles. I have all different kinds of puzzles. I have giant floor puzzles. I have like the Melissa and Doug chunky puzzles for the littler ones. That's really good for like matching piece to piece and learning animals and shapes and stuff like that. And then I have more detailed like 24-piece puzzles that I get from like the Dollar Tree and garage sales that the older kids love. And I love puzzles because it's a toy that kids can do over and over again and they still like it. It's still a challenge every time. Even though they know where some of the pieces go, it's not like effortless to do. And I like puzzles because it's something little kids can do and then they can always advance on to the next kind. So they're never getting sick of puzzles overall. There's always a different kind of puzzle to introduce, and it's just something they like to do. Some of the kids are more into them than others, but I know all my kids like puzzles in some shape or form, and they aren't too hard to come by. I buy my Melissa and Doug ones mostly at like Goodwill or garage sales because they can be kind of spendy if you're buying lots of them, which I have all mine up here, and I have probably like close to 20, and that would be really expensive buying, you know, on their own. But since I buy them secondhand, they're like $2 a piece and they still look almost brand new because they're wooden. And then I get a lot of my other ones at like garage sales and mostly the Dollar Tree because you get them for $1. So even if they don't last that long, I can always just get new ones and the kids get excited. And I really like puzzles because there's so many things they learn. They learn fine motor skills, they learn matching, they learn colors and shapes and how things fit together, and logic. They have to think critically about, okay, if this has this shape on the end, it has to fit in this kind of piece. And they're really like thinking things through and doing some advanced planning and stuff like that. I just think it's so good for their shaping their mind and their critical thinking. So those are my 3 favorite daycare toys. If I had to pick 3, I would love to know what are your 3 favorite daycare toys. Leave it in the comments and make sure you give this video a thumbs up so I'll keep them coming, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye guys.